let us confirm the word about the wedding banquet of the Lamb, that is, the heavenly wedding banquet, in Matthew chapter 22. In Matthew chapter 22, verse 1, it is written, Jesus spoke to them again in parables, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. When we teach the truth of God the Mother, some insist that we teach things that Jesus did not teach. However, everyone, when we take a closer look at Matthew chapter 22, who is teaching this parable? Let us look at chapter 22, verse 1 once again. Jesus spoke to them again in parables, saying, clearly, who is teaching this? The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servants to those who had been invited to the banquet to tell them to come, but they refused to come. Then he sent some more servants and said, Tell those who have been invited that I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and fattened cattle have been butchered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet. But they paid no attention and went off, one to his fields, another to his business. The rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged. He sent his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Then he said to his servants, The wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. So go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you find. So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could find, the bad as well as the good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to see the guests, he noticed a man there who was not wearing wedding clothes. He asked, How did you get in here without wedding clothes, friend? The man was speechless. Surely, the parable of the heavenly wedding banquet is the teaching of Jesus. Then, what was the purpose of teaching this parable? The theme of this parable is obviously a wedding. In order for a wedding to take place, who must be there essentially? A bridegroom and a bride must be there. Here it is written, The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. The king here refers to God, and the son represents Jesus Christ, who came to this earth as the Lamb. Then, shouldn't there be the bride who is the most important in the wedding banquet? If the bridegroom is mentioned, the bride too must exist, even if she is not mentioned. There cannot be the wedding banquet without the bride. Isn't that right? In Revelation chapter 19, it is written, The Lamb and his wife have made themselves ready. Jesus taught this teaching about the wedding banquet. In other words, it is God's teaching. Then, there must be the Lamb and the wife of the Lamb, the bride. Also, what about those who are invited to the wedding banquet of the Lamb? The Bible describes them as those who are blessed. Today, God is inviting all mankind to the truth of God the Father, who is the Holy Spirit, and God the Mother, who is the bride. However, how will mankind react to the invitation? It is written, they refuse to come. Although it is a great blessing, this happens when we deliver the message, believe in God the Father and God the Mother. Of course, not everyone reacts in this way. Some receive this invitation and come to the wedding banquet. In Revelation chapter 19, aren't these people described as the blessed ones? Through Matthew chapter 22 and Revelation chapter 19, today we should understand that there is not only God the Father, but also God the Mother. Also, we should be able to discover the will of God in the word wedding.